From our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
The Department of Health has apologised to mothers who had negative birthing experiences while using maternity services at the Royal Hobart Hospital. Safety concerns raised by the sector's peak union body prompted an independent investigation, and now dozens of recommendations have been made to improve the quality of care.
A glimmer of hope for the Royal Hobart Hospital's maternity unit. The Health Department handing down its findings, reviewing the quality of care and services for new mothers.
The report had a look at a range of matters across our maternity services at the Royal Hobart Hospital and made it 38 recommendations for improvement in our services.
Most of the recommendations relating to staffing, workloads, medication administration and breastfeeding support.
The independent panel received more than 50 submissions and completed around 61 interviews.
Some of the concerns highlighted in the report include inadequate monitoring of women in labour, infrequent checks on new babies and irregular reviews of emergency equipment. The investigation prompted after ongoing cries for help from the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Federation.
Even though the report is confronting in some respects, I feel that our members will be pleased that their concerns have also been confirmed by the independent panel.
But the union says there's still a long road to recovery, pointing the finger at one major issue plaguing the sector.
And the understaffing, if you like, has really been at the root cause of a lot of the challenges that they've experienced.
The Health Department is adamant it's committed to ongoing improvement of health services provided in Tasmania.
Where we can, we'll be taking these recommendations and implementing it at both the Launceston General Hospital and the North West Regional Hospital, as well as here at the Royal Hobart Hospital.
Rebecca Gaidaneris at 7 Tasmania News.
The Tasmanian Liberals are renewing calls for the future of the state's salmon farming industry to be secured. But the Greens aren't backing down on their push to have the sector transitioned onshore, as political parties stake their claim on the issue ahead of the federal election.
With a federal election on the horizon, the Tasmanian Liberals starting the new year touring politically sensitive waters, looking at the steps salmon farmers are taking to minimise their environmental footprint.
We have an industry that can coexist with environmentally sustainable practices.
Comforting words for stakeholders who are looking at expanding the sector in Storm Bay.
We've got a really solid baseline of environmental monitoring data for decisions to be made around potential expansion and growth.
And with the Maugean skate breeding program also showing positive results, the Shadow Fisheries Minister is urging Federal Environment Minister Tanya Plibersek to end the uncertainty clouding salmon farming's future.
Back the industry, listen to the science and make a decision now.
But the Greens candidate for the marginal seat of Lyons says the evidence suggests otherwise.
Just yesterday, Washington State banned fish farming in their waters entirely because of the environmental impact that it has.
Also raising concerns about ongoing impacts Macquarie Harbour fisheries are said to be having on the endangered Maugean skate. And it's a topic political experts say isn't going away anytime soon, with the federal election due by mid-May.
I think it's most significant in Braddon because of the potential impacts on the industry if salmon farming is greatly reduced in Macquarie Harbour.
A spokesperson for Tanya Plibersek saying the federal government is a strong supporter of the salmon industry, but it must be done in a sustainable way. The minister is still awaiting a brief from the Environment Department before deciding whether to review the industry's operations. Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
The sentencing of a 26-year-old man who killed a baby has been delayed again. In November, Daniel John Ridges pleaded guilty to the manslaughter of 10-month-old Kaylin Butler. The Warrane man admitted to shaking and dropping the baby in his cot in December 2023. A dispute over a forensic psychologist report outlining possible contributors to the death is causing the delay. The court hearing, Ridges suffers from ADHD and his sensitivity to loud noises may have been a triggering factor. He's due back in court on January 30. Dorset residents have now been without a council for almost 18 months, and the opposition is demanding the release of a Board of Inquiry report to ensure the North East municipality can be properly represented. Deputy Labor leader Anita Dow says the report is well overdue after it was supposed to have been provided to the government in April last year. A government spokesperson says the Board of Inquiry process is expected to be finalised this month, accusing Labor of politicising the issue. Well, Labor is pushing for the release of an eagerly awaited review into Tasmania's education system. With our academic outcomes some of the worst in the nation, Shadow Education Minister Sarah Lovell says the report's recommendations can't afford to be delayed.
And I understand the Education Minister has received that and is considering it, and will come back on that soon.
The government has yet to confirm a date for the report's release and its response to it. Young Tasmanian surf lifesavers have been hard at work taking their knowledge and skills to the next level. They've been undertaking a specialised week-long program to take on more responsibility in and out of the water.
When there's trouble on our beaches, they're the ones we call for help. 22 of the state's youngest developing their skills at a week-long camp in Ulverston.
It's all about building those core life-saving skills, so in first aid, advanced resuscitation and IRB or inflatable rescue boat.
It's hard work.
It's been pretty tiring, getting your brain to think how to deal with the situations.
But it's paying off.
Yeah, it's been really rewarding, I've gained a lot of knowledge.
At times, organisers throwing participants in the deep end.
We run no-notice scenarios throughout the week, and as a patrol team they come together to kind of put those skills into practice in a lifelike situation.
In one scenario, a woman appears with a very lifelike looking wound to her leg. The team jumping into action. Applying pressure. Saving the day. For some volunteers, life-saving is a family business.
My brother started before me.
My family has been surf life-saving for a long time.
A decision helping them develop invaluable skills.
A lot of our previous participants are now police or paramedics.
Ready to help the community on or off the beach. Zeke Gaffney, 7 Tasmania News.
There's a reprieve in sight for Hobart renters, with prices remaining flat during the December quarter. Median rents sitting at $520 a week, an annual increase of 4%. Regional Tasmanians are paying $450. Price growth slowed nationally thanks to an increase in housing and reduced spending. But PropTrack says January generally brings out more potential tenants, which could drive a moderate increase.
The Hurricanes coach says he will be looking for players in-house to fill 2 import positions. Shea Hope and Waqar Salam Keel have finished their time in the Purple Army, heading back overseas to play in the UAE League.
We think we're very fortunate. We've got a really strong domestic list and really deep backup. So we feel as though at the moment we've got everything covered for what we would need.
Last night's game against the Sydney Thunder was washed out, but there was a positive. The result means the 2 teams joined the Sydney Sixers on top of the ladder. A 4th consecutive WNCL title is looking out of reach for the Tasmanian Tigers. With only 2 wins out of 6 games so far this season, the skipper says she isn't pulling out the calculator just yet.
At the moment, it's about, our batters, we need to make more runs. I think our bowlers have been pretty good, but we just haven't been firing as a team, and we expect more from ourselves.
The Tigers are heading into a finals rematch against Queensland this weekend. The Jack Jumpers have suffered another blow. Sean McDonald is out for the remainder of the regular season due to a foot injury. The 24-year-old has only played 7 games for the side this season after suffering a sore shoulder in pre-season. Development player Nick Stoddart will replace the guard. There's no word on when big man Will Magnate will make his return after suffering a fractured toe. But the club says he's tracking well and shows good signs of healing. Australian Maya Joint is through to the semi-finals of the Hobart International after beating USA's Sophia Kennan 6-3, 6-1. The wildcard dropping only 11 games in 3 matches so far.
I don't know, I'm just so excited to be in the semis. I can't wait to play again tomorrow. Thank you all for coming out and supporting me.
Number 3 seed Anna Anisimova has had to retire due to illness, while Polish player Magda Linette has been forced to withdraw from her doubles semi-final due to a thigh injury. Well, a couple big outs at the Domain, Kim.
But we'll get behind mine now, I reckon. Thanks, Lily. Well, after the break, Kaya will join us with the weather forecast. Good evening. 23 in Hobart and Devonport today, Launceston 25 and 22 at Burnie. A warm one in Bushy Park with 29 there, Strawn 27, 26 the top at Grove and Friendly Beaches. Flinders Island and Luncheon Hill both 24, 23 recorded at Low Head, St Helens and Maria Island, and 22 on King Island and also at Laiweni. The synoptic chart shows high cloud about the north today and mostly sunny skies elsewhere. Extensive storms continue across the NT and WA border, the top end and southeastern Queensland. Tomorrow, a high pressure system will pass over the southern Tasman Sea as the trough extends across the country. Variable winds 5 to 15 knots about the central west and southwest. East to northeasterly winds 10 to 20 knots elsewhere, and southwesterly swells are predicted at 1 metre. Another warm and sunny day for Hobart tomorrow with 28, warmer still in Huonville and Campania with 30 degrees. Fine too towards the north, 29 the expected top in Launceston, 24 at Devonport and 22 the maximum at Georgetown. Fine in Burnie and Wynyard 23, sunny skies too for Strawn with 26 the top. St Helens, partly cloudy, 23, sunny in Swansea 26 and fine also for Port Arthur with 23 the expected top for Friday. Showers about the north on Saturday as we welcome the weekend. Now they will likely extend statewide with possible afternoon thunderstorms about the south and central north. Sunday, showers about the north extending statewide later with more possible thunderstorms on the way. And on Monday, showers, although mainly about the east, remaining warm though in the north with 29 expected in Launceston. Further abroad now as we welcome Friday. 35 and showery in Broome, a partly cloudy day in Melbourne, 29. Those possible storms continue in Canberra, Sydney, Brisbane and Darwin. It's clear across the state right now, currently 20 degrees in Hobart, 22 in Launceston and 21 in Devonport. Thursday, keep up the fluids again tomorrow, Kim. And that wraps up your Thursday night news. As always, thanks for your company tonight. Good night, everyone.